Good morning,
Good afternoon,
good evening
wherever you are.
on this amazing planet of ours.
Ariel and I tend to.
Finish each other's sentences,
So if we do,
please include it.
there you have it.
It's all about,
Listening.
you betcha, simply listening. The voice may change back and forth,
But
but
the message is clear that this is it.
I like
This
it.
moment is where your life is taking place. There's no place to get to. There's no better moment than the one you've got right now. How's that? You like that, dear?
I do.
It happens to be accurate.
There is no better moment than this one. This one is it. You know, in the description for this podcast, we said, when was the last time you sat with someone and simply listened? Well, I don't know if you're sitting or if you're standing or you're off on a walk or in your car, but you're allowed to simply listen. You don't need to do anything with what we're talking about today. Why not just relax, listen, absorb, take in, and have a moment of freedom just to simply listen?
The problem is they'll probably listen to that voice in their head that tells them they need to do more
Oh, yeah.
or do something different or be someplace better.
Yeah. That
And
happens.
they'll miss out on the moment because thinking somewhere else will be better than where they are.
Well, you know, this episode is airing the day before. So tomorrow is Thanksgiving in the United States. It's a time when many people get together with loved ones, family members, friends, and primarily eat. And sometimes there's football involved. Watching,
eat, drink, and football.
yeah, depending on your family, for sure.
That's right.
What if you actually listen to the people you are?
You think you know?
Yes. Oh, that's a good one.
Isn't that good?
Yes. You know, I think I know Shya, but he surprises me all the time. And I love that. But he doesn't surprise me if I'm not here to listen. If I'm busy doing something, off to something else, and every once in a while he'll say, "Did you hear that?" And I'll be like, "No, I was writing an email in my head, or I was in the midst of something, or it's not a sin to not listen. It's just a fact."
Well, you have between 40 and 60,000 thoughts a day. And so you're pretty busy all the time. You're preoccupied listening to those thoughts. And so it's difficult to listen to someone else if you're listening to your thoughts or even your thoughts about what they're saying. See, it's about allowing what's being said just to come into you as is, no understanding needed.
You know, yesterday here, it was very, very windy. And if you go out into a very windy day, like on Zolt is an island
in the North Sea, in Germany.
And the wind is so strong there that they actually even have statues of people leaning into the wind. So if you want to be upright, you actually have to compensate for that wind and lean forward. And I think lots of times people forget that in order to fully listen, you need to include you. Are you hungry? Are you tired? Are you preoccupied? If you start to recognize your starting state and compensate for it, include it, it makes it far easier to set down what you're up to or to let go of being tired, for instance, to fully listen.
Well, if you think that where you got to get to is more important than where you are, then you don't listen to the people around you because you're busy getting to what you think is important rather than allowing yourself to be.
I had a meeting on Zoom today with a number of people, and one of the ladies showed up looking really bedraggled and also quite late. So my very first question was, "Are you okay?" And it was really important that I listened to what she had to say. And she pulled together all of the information about what had been happening for her lately, and a rather challenging trip to visit family, and that type of thing.
Is
And
this
what,
someone I know?
yeah. And
You're going to give me a hint so I
uh,
don't think about it?
hang on, I'm going to whisper in his ear.
Uh-huh.
And then what happened was, the more I listened to her and the other folks on the Zoom meeting listened to her, her face cleared. She got in real time. She no longer looked tired or bedraggled. Even her hair looked better without doing anything. And we didn't listen to her to make her better, but listening to her really supported her in coming back to center.
But yeah, we should have a conversation.
Let's talk with our first guest.
First guest.
All right, Naz, welcome to being here. Tell people where you're zooming in from.
Oh, hi, Ariel and Shya. My name is Naz, and I am zooming in from Oxfordshire in England. And it's been really lovely listening to you, and at the same time, listening to a thunderstorm that's just erupted outside.
That's great.
It's beautiful. And I could feel my attention being pulled and then having to pull myself back as the storm has got closer. It's drifting off now. And yeah, yeah. And I'm really pleased to be here, really.
When you have something like that, like rain or wind or thunder, if you relax, Naz, you can include it. Chances are part of what pulled you away was your conversation about the thunder rather than the thunder itself.
Huh. That's cool. I find that a lot, not just with the thunder.
Right.
You know, I find that happens to me a lot when I'm listening, or I listen to my thoughts instead of other people. And I noticed it
So
recently.
let me stop you for a second, because you said something interesting just then when you listen to your thoughts. I don't think you listen to your thoughts.
Oh, okay.
I think you have thoughts.
Huh.
You may think about those thoughts, but I don't think you really listen to your thoughts.
Sure.
They are on automatic. They're stimulated by what's happening in your environment.
Yeah.
And you get lost in them.
Yeah, yes, I do get lost in them.
And they're often worries about how the future is going to turn out.
Or self-recrimination about
how you did or didn't do something in the past.
Or trying to figure out how to approach something in the future, what you're going to say, what you're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely accurate.
Rehearsing for the future.
Yeah, and when the future shows up, often it has no bearing on anything I was thinking about or planning to say.
Mm.
It's totally unexpected. Yeah.
I interrupted you. Where were you going?
Do you
Oh,
recall?
actually.
Mhm.
So one of the things I've noticed is recently I went away on Turkey, Istanbul in Turkey, with my mother and my sister. And I notice how I don't listen to my sister, especially. It was really,
Don't listen to
Don't
her.
listen.
It just cut out a little bit. You don't listen to your sister.
I don't. And I didn't realize how
Are you
I,
from Istanbul?
no, no, I'm not.
Oh, it was a vacation of
So
some sort?
vacation.
It was a vacation. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And it was,
I have a couple questions just because and then I can hear you more clearly. Is your sister older or younger than you?
She is older,
Okay. How much older?
5 years.
Okay, good. So you go to Istanbul and you recognize that you're not listening to her. Then what?
It's the first time I've realized that I don't listen to her. It was like, oh. And throughout the holiday, there were moments where it was great when I was listening, and when I wasn't listening, it became it was just an insight that I had of one of the things that I do when I don't listen to my sister is I rephrase what she says, like I'm disagreeing with it in some way, shape, or form. And I really never noticed that before. Um, it was insightful and made me understand why sometimes she might be a bit snappy with me because I've created that by not listening. Um, it was good actually because we haven't spent this amount of time together for a really long, for years.
Mm.
So it was interesting to see and notice it. And I know that coming to your seminars has supported me in seeing that. And rather than making myself wrong for it, I kind of saw it. And there are times during that week where I did make myself wrong for it, which was it was really, I don't know, it was interesting experience.
There's just something about the way you say it now, Naz. Like, I don't listen to my sister. It makes it a very broad brush, global, and still intact, as opposed to I realized
But I didn't.
that I hadn't been listening, which puts it in the past. I mean, I'm not
Sure.
trying to nitpick what you're saying, but you the way
See,
you're looking at it is still static.
if you approach the current moment as though it's new,
Yeah.
then the people that you meet are new. And that includes your sister and your mother, people that you think you know.
Yeah.
Ariel said something earlier about that when she thinks she knows me, I surprise her with things I say when she listens because they are new. They're different things that I hadn't said before. So I'm suggesting that you don't discover who your sister or your mother are when you meet them. You have a preconceived notion about how they're going to be and what they're going to say, and then you get to be right.
Yeah. That's very accurate. Yeah.
Mm.
Huh.
Now, there's nothing wrong with that. You fit in with 99.9% of the people on the planet.
That really is the starting place for any interaction. You walk in and you're meeting a clerk for the first time, you still have the overlay of any person serving you coffee or any person behind a counter that you've had in your life. So you have the expectations of who you're going to meet. Now, those are either fall to the background or they precede you into that interaction.
You know, you have to take into account that you came along and your sister was the primary baby at the time, and then you came along, and then
Yeah.
the attention shifted. So she's got to have resentments that were based in loss of attention because
Sure.
you came along. And who else to blame? Not your parents for having sex.
For sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
You had something to do with it.
You know, I know we have the three principles of instantaneous transformation, and we haven't talked about it yet today.
We haven't even talked about listening today.
Okay, let's talk about listening.
See, because if we talk about the three principles without first talking about listening, people will be going, oh, I heard this before. Oh, I know this. Oh, yeah, this is, and they won't listen. See, listening is new. You're newly listening to what's being said in the current moment of your life as though it's new. And you're listening not to see whether you agree or disagree with it based on what you believe to be true, but listening to hear another's point of view about whatever they're talking about. And by the way, they can't be wrong in their point of view because it is their truth. Accurate, inaccurate doesn't matter. But when you disagree or agree with somebody, you're no longer listening to them. You're saying, oh, yeah, this is what I think too. And
I love, Naz, that you added that you take a semblance of what your sister said and you reframe it and re-say it, quote, better than she said it. That is such a classic sign of not listening. And that you identified that. Most people think they are being
great listeners.
Great listeners. Oh,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
I can reframe what you say. I can restate it. That's me endorsing what you say when
But-
really it's not.
Yeah, when you restate what somebody says, you are definitely not listening to them.
Yeah.
See, listening isn't agree or disagree. It's hear what another has to say from their perspective.
And it's quite fun because I'm now curious to know where else I do it. I mean, not to look for it purposefully, but it's fun to have to see it in that moment.
Well, only if you embrace that you're seeing yourself not listening.
Well,
But if you want to be right and prove that you do listen, then it will be very a different moment.
Sure.
let's talk about those three principles because life shows up as it does. Here you are with your mom, with your sister. She's saying something. You suddenly notice that you weren't listening. So life shows up exactly as it does. Your sister says something, you see something about how you're receiving. That's that moment. Then you have a choice. You either judge, don't like, don't want, resolve to do better. That's the first principle. Anything you resist or work on persists, grows stronger, dominates your life. Third principle, anything you see without judgment, just allow to be as it is, completes itself in an instant.
And the second principle is life shows up exactly as it does in the current moment. However, oh, I just had something and I lost it.
Okay.
It'll probably come back.
What I notice about you, Naz, is that typically when you see something, you tend to quietly shuffle over to the first principle, resolve to do better, massage it a little, think about it, work on it some.
I remember what
Yes.
I want to the difference between change and transformation. See, change takes place over time where you have goals and you work on getting better.
Be a better listener.
Better listener.
Enhance my relationship with my sister.
Right. Transformation, on the other hand, happens outside of time. It is not incremental. You're not getting somewhere. You are where you are in the current moment. Now, when you apply that to the third principle of instantaneous transformation, the seeing of how you're being is enough for it to transform.
So in this case, seeing how you were is enough to have it already transformed. I just
in an instant. There's no work necessary here. This is not about working on yourself to produce a better you, which is what you're addicted to.
Yeah.
Or have been addicted to.
Yeah, you
How
see
about
it.
that? I changed the phrase to have been. Now, this is a new moment.
As a conscientious person, you are likely to put in place the new rule. Next time I go see my sister, I'm going to purposefully listen to her.
And I'll listen better.
rather than going, and even the way you say, I'm excited to see where else it happens. What if it's done?
Oh,
What if there's nothing to discover? What if it's all over?
And
What
if
if
it
you're just here?
resurges itself at any point, maybe it's symptomatic of being upset rather than a habit you need to work on.
Right.
Because
Because when you get upset, you have old thoughts.
old habits, old ways of relating to life.
That's right. And they take over. And
that is
there's
so
body
cool.
sensations and postures and all sorts of things, repetitive thought
Mhm.
patterns that are yours in upset.
Oh, wow. That's an amazing possibility. Just wow. Thank you.
You're
It
welcome.
is. You are an amazing possibility, Naz. No place to get to. Exactly as you are.
Mm. Oh, I felt that. Thank you so much,
Mm.
both of you.
You're welcome.
Mm.
Thanks for being with us today.
Yes.
I've loved it.
Hey, it's time for the listener feedback spotlight.
It's where we get to hear from people in this amazing listenership and transformation community talking about what's happening in their lives.
I'm Anina in Thun, Switzerland, and I love what Ariel and Shya Kane say about listening. And what I particularly love about it is that when I listen to someone, it's a gift to myself. It brings me into the moment, and that's where my life and all happiness is. Thank you.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Ariel and Shya's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
Ready to detox from all the turkey for those of you in the United States? Our next Living Made Easy 2-hour virtual seminars are coming up this Monday, the 1st. We have the European bilingual one on Wednesday, December 10th. Of course, anywhere in the world, you're welcome to sign in for either one of those. You can visit the website for your times and upcoming dates and register. The weekends we have coming up
Freedom to Breathe and Art of Being a Healer, December 5th through 7th, in person in New York City.
You know, when we were just talking with Naz and she heard us and we felt heard, there was a healing of sorts. Not that any of us were broken to begin with, but you know, when I was last in Hamburg for the in-person seminar there's a fellow who has a physical challenge these days, and they're trying to sort it out with physicians, where he can see words, he can see the words, but being able to get them to come out of his mouth right now is very difficult. So there's often a big lag, and for whatever reason, it's happening. And I gave him a hug and I said to him, I love you just the way you are. And he said, wow. He heard, I expressed myself. It was this genuine moment. The freedom to breathe and Art of Being a Healer weekend, in my experience, is almost sacred, where you discover how to be with people simply because they are breathing. And all of our courses came from Shya's hands-on bodywork, Shya work. And the art of being a healer is an opportunity to play around with that, experience it.
Discover the healer in you.
People often ask us, particularly Shya, now that he's 84, wow, how do you look so young? We invest in Shya work. I work on him almost every day.
Sometimes a number of times a day.
And it keeps him nimble and supple, and it's wonderful. So I'm inviting you, should you wish to come. Our next virtual weekend is New Beginnings. It's January 10th and 11th. We love doing something that is all about instantaneous transformation at the beginning of the new year, because so many people reflect, think they did last year not so well, and they
resolve to do it better this year, and they make New Year's resolutions that they rarely, if ever, follow through with and keep for a whole year.
In a way, you could almost see it with Naz. It was so cool when she just got that seeing it was enough and it could be over. Whatever it is, the not listening in this case to her sister. Because when you make a resolution, it's like you're holding a rubber band in your hand and you're like, oh, in my left hand, I've got, I don't listen to my sister enough. In my right hand, I say, great, I'm going to take the other hand of this rubber band, and I'm going to do better. And then tomorrow I'm one day away from the resolution, and then I get farther and farther, and that band stretches and stretches until it either breaks or you let go and you whack yourself by being totally inappropriate with yourself. Seeing something is simply enough. By the way, either of those upcoming weekend courses, should you want to come with us to Costa Rica in 2026,
will fulfill the prerequisite.
And that's the scoop. If you want to regularly get information about what we're up to, you can sign up for our newsletter. It comes right into your inbox. And you can find out everything, register for stuff, sign up at transformationmadeeasy.com. Let's take our next guest.
Okay.
All right, Adam.
Adam.
Welcome to being here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. Where are you?
I'm calling in from New York City.
Nice. Welcome.
And thank you. Something that you said to Naz really resonated with me. It was that what if old thoughts or behaviors are just a symptom of upset? And something clicked for me where I had noticed when I was trying on clothes recently at a store to buy new clothes, I really saw how my belly had gotten bigger and I wanted to lose weight. And then so I've started down that journey of watching what I eat. But I could see this morning when I got on the scale, it wasn't just like, oh, this is the number on the scale. It was an upset, like thoughts about my weight that just told me that I wasn't just listening to the scale or just treating it as a fact, but just being, I don't know, disappointed with the results.
Well, look, you've been trained by life and the culture you grew up in to beat on yourself, to
implement change.
That's right. To inspire you to do better. But it comes from a self-degradation for having done it the way you did it.
Right.
Rather than notice how you're being. I came back from somewhere where I was about 10 pounds heavier.
Well, over this summer, Adam, Shya and I regularly ate two foods that we don't normally eat. And then we went on vacation.
What, ice cream and ice cream?
Ice cream and bread.
Oh, yeah.
We ate lots of bread. We found a couple local bakeries around here that make homemade bread that tastes
there's
really great?
this bakery down the road from us, maybe 5 miles away.
Yeah.
That they have this oven where they build a fire in the oven and let it
At night.
burn all night long. And then in the morning, the bricks of the oven hold the heat. So they remove the ashes and they put the bread dough in and they bake their breads that way.
It's so cool.
It is.
And the bread is tasty.
Oh, it's good.
And then
Yeah.
ice cream. We found it even
The
closer when it's
best ice cream on the East Coast.
It was rated, and I
as.
concur.
Yes.
So here's the thing. I see you going like, don't, I watch your face. You're like, don't entice me. I enjoyed everything we ate. And then we went on vacation and it was a place where they fed us and I enjoyed everything I ate there. And when we came back and we were like 10 pounds heavier in Shya's case, maybe 5 or 8 in my case, we looked at it and said, okay, enough. And now I'm equally having fun having bread not exist. We drive by there. I'm like, you do not exist. And I
well, they exist, but we're not going and buying any bread. And we went to Germany recently and I ate bread in Germany, you know.
But I ate less bread there than I've ever eaten before. And I enjoyed every morsel I had. And I didn't regret every morsel I didn't have.
See, you have a conversation with you about what you should or shouldn't have done rather than enjoy being you moment by moment.
And by the way, interesting, I don't know when it was that you went shopping, but I saw you just last week. You were in a seminar and you were standing on stage next to us. And I thought, wow, look at you. Your belly's smaller than I've seen it in years. It used to be that you'd stand with your belly pooching out. I don't know if it was a statement of something, but I think it's interesting that you think you're heavier than, and you may physically be, but you looked lighter to me than I've seen you in a long time.
Thank you. Yeah. I think I'm just happy that of the timing of this call, because even when I saw it at the store, I wasn't upset. I really saw it and wasn't upset about that. It's only, I feel like I've noticed today where I'm like, it's only recently that I feel like I've been disappointing myself because I feel like the results aren't coming fast enough.
Well, here's the thing. You're disappointing yourself with your standards.
Right.
You're disappointing yourself with the rules you put together about what a cool body looks like when you were 15 or 13 or 10.
Right.
Rules are still dictating how you feel about yourself today. And you're a man, how old are you these days? 30 something?
34.
34.
Although by taping, I'll be 35.
You know, when we made the shift to like, okay, we're ready to eat differently now. We happened to have an appointment with our doctor and, you know, we were speaking about it and he said, why don't you just eat bread and carbs and things on Saturdays? You know, it's the weekend. Pick, you know, only eat those things on the weekend, the rest of the week. And I was like, la, 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 don't tell me to ever, ever, ever eat it. But what was really interesting was that if I can do what I do, eat bread, don't eat bread as an example.
Hey,
without self-recrimination.
I ate pasta in Germany.
Yeah, it was good.
A couple of times and I liked it.
And we lost weight.
And I lost weight.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe your conversation with yourself about weight and gaining and losing produces more weight than the foods you eat.
Yeah.
Of course, if you ate only carbohydrates and sugar and things like that regularly, you probably would get puffy.
You know, there was a gal in Hamburg recently whose body type is significantly larger, bones, everything about it. I'm sure her family was a really robust family, and she was sitting next to somebody who was really, really tall and thin, and her family was a tall and thin family. And it was very interesting when the woman who had a very large body type got up, and she wasn't thinking about herself or how she was doing and what she looked. She looked so spry and fit and healthy and smaller. And, you know, not like smaller is better, but like she wasn't advertising, look, I'm big. And then there were other moments.
It's not I'm big, it's I'm fat.
Yes.
Right.
You know, big is okay. Fat is not okay.
And I actually think that in the times where I've perceived you as having more of a belly, you've been advertising your complaint against yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, Adam, you're cool. Allow yourself to enjoy being you.
Thank you.
The way you are, not the way you think you ought to be.
Yes. I
You know,
appreciate
recently, Shya and I found a picture of ourselves that was taken in the 80s. And the picture is very beautiful. I framed it. I put it up on the wall. It was taken by a very well-known professional photographer who we happened to be friends with at the time. And I know at the time, whilst I thought that picture was nice, it's like your self-judgments.
So when that picture was okay, but now when we look at it, each of us were so beautiful back then. And then it's like, and we're still beautiful.
Yes.
See, and we weren't substandard back then.
And you're not substandard now. Belly, no belly. Lots of money, no money. Healthy, not healthy. With cats, I see your cat here next to you, or no cats. Your life circumstances are exactly as they are, and you are perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
there. Mic drop.
Mic drop. Bam. You know, I don't know if you've subscribed to this podcast, Adam, but you can subscribe on any of the podcast services. We're up everywhere. You can certainly share it with your friend. Recently, we've been sharing it on places like LinkedIn and whatnot, and people are finding it. People who want the possibility of being here and transformation in their lives. So I'm recommending it to y'all if it's something that you want with regularity. Somebody was talking about that when we were in Hamburg last. They were talking about all of the different resources that are available for free from the two of us so that you can stay connected to yourself in between seminars or in between things. So I'm highly recommending.
And, you know, we do seminars not only for the participants and not only to get paid for doing it, but for us, because this having to be present to do a being present seminar keeps us present in our lives.
Same with this podcast.
And transforms our lives regularly. So, that's the other thing. See, transformation happens in an instant, but it is not a permanent state.
You can lose it in an instant.
You can lose it in an instant. The moment you get upset, the moment you leave the moment to complain about anything, you've already lost the transformational experience.
And this is a skill set
that you can build upon and get better at.
And clearly that's what you're doing here and supporting other people as well, Adam. So that's super sweet. Thank you so much for being here.
We definitely appreciate you, my friend.
I appreciate you guys.
Again, if you want to subscribe to the podcast, you can find at transformationmadeeasy.com links to different places where you can subscribe. We'll be back next week with an episode on I Will Be Happy when So we'll be back next week. Come on back.
And don't miss being here.